Hey guys, hey everybody. I'm not sure if you can hear this. Skylark there in the background. Absolutely beautiful day today. Here we are, as you can see behind me, the fields of gold, and they've really kind of just really richened up in this last week or so. It's a spot that I done one of their earlier videos from, and at that point in time the field was absolutely barren, and it shows you how much change has happened in these last several weeks and these last few months. And coming out and arriving at this point, up along the trail, either side of the trail, there was beautiful bluebells that burst into life, and even the leaves, within the trees, there's more leaves on the trees in this last week or so. I think it was about a week ago, maybe a little bit longer, I spotted the first leaves in the old oak, and that was a sure sign that things are beginning to change. So really exciting. It's just so wonderful to be out. We've got this beautiful panoramic view of those golden yellow fields, and the smell and the aroma is just really beautiful. Trying to get out most days now, trying to really kind of put in some miles, put in some distance, for a really exciting, fairly heavyweight tour expedition at the end of the year. So really excited and looking forward to that. So guys, I wanted to talk to you about a few things really, but one of them was picking up on the video of last week. So those of you that watched last week's video, Wisdom from the Trail, I was talking about that feeling that so many of us have, that we wake up in the morning and we absolutely completely feel lost, that empty feeling that's right there in the core of your stomach, knotted up, and you just can feel completely feel lost and disorientated. I don't feel there's not one person that's experienced that at some point in your life. And I said to you, it's all good. It's a sign of that you may have moved out of your comfortability into the uncomfortable, moved outside of your comfort zone. And for me, I was in the middle of the Highlands, those vast mountains, and I'd absolutely moved outside of my comfort zone and woke up and experienced that feeling of feeling kind of really lost and feeling really alone. And I said to you, that was, I think, a big factor of it. And the more time I kind of spend kind of exploring my journey, as I weave together the long road home, there's another factor that I absolutely come aware of and really come to light for me, is that not only had I moved outside of my comfort zone, but the other thing that I was experiencing, maybe for the first time, because as I said to you, when you're in that sort of environment and you're in that sort of surroundings, you're in that sort of space, I hadn't seen people for days, and that was another thing that was kind of stirring up and percolating inside of me, is I hadn't seen anyone, and the only one person that was there was me. I was beginning, I believe now, I can really see this, the more I kind of explore it, the more kind of write about it, I was facing myself for the first time. So often in life we move really quickly, we move really fast, and there's two things that are kind of happening really within life, I feel, for so many people nowadays, is that most people are generally in some sort of kind of fight or flight mode. It's like there's so much stimulation, there's so much noise, there's so much movement, that we're in that kind of fight or flight mode. And for me, I think that feeling of feeling really lost and kind of reaching that calm stone that day and absolutely kind of just almost collapsing beside of it and breaking down, this huge raw emotion, is I was becoming in touch with how I really feel and how I really felt. That lost feeling, I believe that lost feeling there was there for many years. I kind of look back and seeing myself grow and kind of develop as a child. I was really sensitive. I kind of believe that without that kind of level of kind of sensitivity, I wouldn't have been being able to do the work that I do today. And you know, there was a natural empathy that was there that gave me the tools to be able to do the work I do today. So kind of growing up with that level of kind of sensitivity, you know, I kind of felt very lost. You know, I kind of felt like, where did I belong? You know, so when I was in those mountains and I kind of all that emotion come up, really what was going on as well, I moved outside my comfort zone, sure, but also I was becoming in touch with how I really feel. So, you know, so often within life, so many of us kind of run, you know, you run through life, and I know I spoke to you guys before about it, and a good friend Matt had said, you know, sometimes you either move through time or you're in time, you know, and that's another profound aspect to it, you know. And I think that what happened is I'd faced myself for the first time, and I was becoming in touch with how I really felt for the first time, and that's a huge deal, you know. It's a scary place to be, to kind of feel that emotion, and so often so many people kind of build up layers. You know, you kind of build up all the layers around yourself, you know, distraction from really what's going on inside of you, because, you know, it takes a lot of courage, it takes a lot of strength, I believe, to become in touch with how you really feel. You know, that is a big journey within itself, and, you know, I think that for me that's been a lifetime journey, you know, kind of developing that sense of deep self. So when I say to you know, I kind of, you know, get out on the trail for an hour each day, one of the reasons why that's so important to me is that I need to foster and nurture that sense of self, because at that point, you know, I can be of more use to those around me in the way that I advise people, my friends, you know, when you've got that strong sense of self. And believe me, that hasn't happened overnight. You know, as I said to you, you know, I'm kind of exploring, writing, bringing together the long road home. It is a journey that is over 25 years long, you know, and you don't just arrive home. You know, I feel like these days I'm more closer to home than I've ever been. I have a stronger sense of self than I've ever had, and I kind of look back and I think that, you know, that deep sensitivity I saw as a difference. You know, I was a child with custard blonde hair, big blue eyes, very sensitive, extremely very empathic, you know, and I saw, you know, probably, you know, for many years that difference being a difference, whereas now I see that difference as being a strength. And I think the way that we really best serve ourselves and kind of get the most from life is knowing who we are and knowing what is important to us, knowing our core values, knowing what makes us tick, knowing what we don't resonate with or we don't align with, and trying to foster that sense of authentic self with ourselves firstly, and most importantly, and then kind of the world around us and people we come into contact with. You know, it's so important, and it's something that I encourage everyone. You know, I quite often say to people, you know, kind of, you know, take some time within your day and, you know, go for a walk. You know, for me, go for that ride. You know, go and sit or have a cup of tea, but spend some time with self and kind of hear your own thoughts. You know, and I'm going to talk more about that as the weeks come along. You know, the voice that's there inside of us all. And I hear people say to me, you know, but Shane, I don't have time, and I really understand that. But as I say, you know, it's making that a priority within your time, you know, because how can we really be useful to those around us if we don't have that sense of being useful to ourselves? And I think that's so important. So there you go, guys. There's the fields there. So as I say, when I collapsed against that cairnstone and all that kind of emotion, that feeling of being lost, it was in two ways. You know, I really see that very clearly, that, You know, it was that sense of moving outside of my comfort zone, but also becoming in touch with how I really feel. And I think this is the key point. Becoming in touch with how you really feel can absolutely at times be hugely uncomfortable, and the key to it is nurturing that and kind of being gentle with yourself and allowing that to kind of unravel and unfold. You know, it's not an easy journey at all, but it's one that will live with you. You know, the deeper you foster that, the deeper you nurture that, the more useful, the more ingrained, the more solid it becomes. So guys, we've got an absolutely huge week here at Spirit Meets Adventure. Towards the end of the week, you'll see on Friday morning a wonderful video from a guy called Al Humphreys. He's an adventure filmmaker, really amazing guy, and he talks about getting out, finding somewhere really, really beautiful, and to kind of do that as the seasons change. You know, it's wonderful. Watch it. It's something that I am going to be doing on Friday evening, and if the weather continues to stay as it is, it's going to be incredible. We've got a full moon coming up on Friday, so if the skies are clear, that's going to be quite an experience. And I'm going to be travelling very light that evening. I'm going to be bivvy bagging, which I haven't done since my time within the army many years ago, so it's going to be a really new experience for me, bivvying out. You literally in your sleeping bag, in your bivvy bag, beside the fire, not under canvas, you know. So if the moon's out, it's going to be a real experience, and then I capture some of my thoughts as that experience unfolds and montage a few of those thoughts and videos together. So watch out for that video Friday. I'll be out in the great outdoors overnight Friday evening. As soon as I finish up with my wonderful consultations, I'll be packing and travelling very light and heading up into the Sussex Hills for an overnighter in a bivvy. So guys, I'm wishing you all a wonderful day. A few thoughts from the trail, and there you are. There is the view today. It is absolutely beautiful, and I'm going to leave that with you and wish you all a wonderful day.